Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far. Welcome back to VALORANT News. My voice is not ideal today. I've kind of been suffering the last few days. I've been pushing it a bit too hard when I've been slightly unwell. I feel okay, but yeah, the voice is certainly going to take a little bit of time to recover, but that's okay. We've got plenty to talk about here in the VALORANT world. The 12 teams for VCT Masters have officially been confirmed. Everything is set in stone. The bracket as yet not been revealed, but we know the 12 teams. We know how everything is going to work out. Some of the players are already there getting ready to go, and EA seems particularly happy with our Riot have upgraded the practice setups that they complained about last year. Very much intrigued your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always. I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. April Fool's jokes honestly are all over the place. Yesterday was just a ridiculous day on Twitter. You didn't really want to be there. This was a pretty funny one in fairness though for Valorant, the whole White Joy thing that we just looked at. This was a Vanity Joy Garda's Jet. Good luck on C9 and Sire player, and he comes back with a pretty similar thing. But yeah, if you saw anything like this and thought it was real, just check the date. Thankfully, we're over April Fools for another year, so we don't have to worry about it until 2023. But yeah, it's pretty frustrating stuff. Something that wasn't a joke, though, was this from Derke from Fnatic. Got COVID and unfortunately can't travel to Iceland and play the tournament before I get a negative test. Very sad news to me, as I really don't want to miss out on one of the biggest tourneys like this. Right now, I'm feeling fine with minor symptoms, trying to recover ASAP. So difficult stuff, like really unfortunate for Derke. That's the thing, right? The travel restrictions as they are right now are not only can Dephh not get out there to Iceland because of the whole Russia-Ukraine stuff, Turko might not be able to travel as well. Right now, he won't be able to go, but still, he does have a few days. It starts on the 10th. All he has to do, I guess, is return a negative test within the next few days. Then he can fly out there. So it might be okay, but there's no guarantees, right? And that's the thing. You look at these European teams. FPX were meant to be there. Then Fnatic, of course, they're going to have to play with at least one sub, if not two, if Turko can't go. And Turko, of course, being their hard carry, that's not going to be ideal. That leaves pretty much G2, right? And Liquid, the other team going from EMEA. But G2 might well be one of the favourites for this tournament now. Well, they certainly are one of the favourites, and definitely Europe's kind of brightest spark, I suppose, going into this tournament. But yeah, maybe it's North America's tournament to win, or some of the other regions we'll have a look at here in just a couple of seconds. So Fnatic do confirm. Turko, unfortunately, has tested positive, now faces travel restrictions. Hyber will travel to the team with Iceland, another Finnish player. They come to an agreement with Koi to effectively just say, yes, he's going to be assigned to Fnatic for now. I think they're going to fly him there anyway on a kind of a precautionary basis. If Derke can't fly out there and he doesn't work out for them, then they can sub-Hyber into the team. But not ideal. Just creates not the greatest environment around this LAN event, right? Really excited for this LAN event. First one in a very long time. Obviously, so much on the line. But, still a lot of these teams don't even have their full rosters, which is very frustrating. But, it is what it is. The teams are going to have to deal with it. Hopefully, no one else tests positive while we were there, right? Because, of course, last time at Champions, we had Victor, right, from Optic, or Envy as it was at the time, tested positive. That really didn't put them in the best position. Hopefully, they've got ways to deal with it. But, well, speaking also of VCT, FPX, of course, we saw a couple of days ago, they cannot attend. We were wondering whether they would get this kind of treatment. So, well, Riot confirmed, following the announcement that FPX will not be able to attend Masters 1 in Reykjavik, we've made the decision to award FPX the equivalent of an 8th place finish, which is the lowest placement they could have achieved at the event, given the bye they would get being the #1 seed from EMEA. The team will be awarded 200 circuit points and $25,000 in prize money. So, look, not great, but still, it's the worst they would have potentially achieved even if they attended the event. Pretty cool stuff, to be honest. I think from Riot to do this makes perfect sense to do it, honestly. They did deserve their qualification. Factors outside of their control mean that some players can't attend, and Riot decided that if you are going to attend, we're not going to let you have 3 substitutes. So, there's no point bothering. Of course, there was one final spot up for grabs in the VCT Masters. That was between NIP, Ninjas in Pajamas, and Leviathan. NIP being a Brazilian squad, Leviathan being a Chilean squad. So kind of Latin America versus Brazil in the playoffs to determine the final team that goes through. NIP had a nice advantage. NIP had a European team before. They kind of went down to Brazil, picked up a team from down there. We're hoping they could get the job done. They lost to Loud in the finals most recently, just a couple of days ago, and now they play Leviathan. They got up 2-0. They close out the series 3-0. So impressive stuff. Tough to say decisively who were the favourites coming into this series, but yes, a 3-0, pretty dominant performance from these guys. And yeah, these were the overall series stats right here. Zand honestly had a great series as well. So impressive work. They look up the 12th seed here at Challengers, and that actually has some further implications as well, because the Brazilian team won, at least, well, for Brazilian team, therefore the team that beat them, that being Loud, they get the #1 seed from the kind of Brazilian Latin American region, therefore they get a bye. So pretty big deal. I'm sure Loud were cheering their kind of brethren on that they vanquished in the grand finals of the Brazilian playoffs, obviously most recently, but these then officially the qualified team. So FPX unfortunately won't be able to attend. G2, Fnatic, Liquid from EMEA. North America has the Guard and Optic Gaming. DRX from Korea. PaperX and Xerxia from APAC. Zeta division from Japan, Crew, Loud, and of course Ninjas in Pajamas, all the teams that will be going to Masters. Crazy stuff. So, well, these of course are the 12 teams as we just saw. These 4 right here then will get the bye. So the Guard, #1 seed from North America, G2 #1 seed from EMEA, Paper X #1 seed from APAC, and Loud, the official #1 seed now from Latin America and Brazil, because it was Ninjas in Pajamas that won the playoffs and not Leviathan, in which case Crew would have been the #1 seed. They get a nice little advantage right here. We can actually see on the website that these are the 8 teams that will have to go through the gauntlet, the double elimination type, effectively GSL style group format. Only 4 of these 8 teams will get through the first stages. Those finish up on not exactly to be confirmed as of yet, but then not too long after that, it's the playoffs with these 4 teams guaranteed, seeding into these other quarterfinals, and then of course the other 4 teams to join them from the GSL style groups. Here we go then from EA, because lots to talk. Some teams are already out there. Optic guys are already out there ready to go. Thank you Riot Games for spawning us with new practice PCs, he says, because last year there was a lot of talk about the fact that the PCs that they play on in practice, and actually even to play on in the official games, are way worse than their ones they play on at home. Like their own PCs, they've got the 3090s, they've got the highest CPUs that you're going to get. These pros have all got like 3K plus PCs at home. The thing is that Riot doesn't necessarily want to afford a 3K PC for every single PC they have at the event, right, on the main stage and also behind the scenes in practice. So they often, the event organizations will often get a cheaper one, right, and therefore they get way lower FPS than they would usually get. Now apparently Riot Games have been spoiling them this time, actually got some decent PCs. It was a massive problem, or at least a massive point of frustration at last year's champions, that they were playing on PCs, even on the main stage matches, that were struggling to even get 200 FPS when they're used to getting numbers like this that you can see as Yace's on the screen. And as he even says, Bone Cold says, old practice PCs really separated the boys from the men, the pain of going from 1000 FPS all the way down to 90. So we reckon last year's practice PCs at times had like 90 FPS was pretty tragic stuff, and of course their own PCs at home get like 1000. But yeah, this time they've got good practice PCs. Shout out to Riot for getting that one done. Of course, yes, April 24th, not too far from now, 3 weeks or so, a winner has been crowned of Masters Reykjavik. Who's it going to be? That of course does remain to be seen. I thought this is a pretty incredible statistic as well, actually, from Fionfire. Every team going to Valorant Masters has at least 2 players who competed internationally at either Reykjavik, Berlin or Champions last year, except for of course the Guard. All 5 players will be making their international debuts in a week's time. So can they cope with it, right? Is the land environment going to get to them? Hopefully they can make a run. But yeah, no doubt one of the coolest stories of global Valorant so far this year. Couple of quick things to mention before we close out the video as well. Of course, we've got GameChangers going on right now. It's just started up. C9 Whites, they get a nice little victory against TSMX yesterday. And this was a nice little clip here from Mel against version 1 in the matches they played. So some Swiss system type tournament going on right here. And this effectively is how it looks right now. So we've got the Swiss stage, then into a closed qualifier, then into the main event, finishing up in the 11th with a kind of Series 1 at North America Champions. But yeah, as you can see, 3-0, 3-1. Lots of good performances all across the board. Should be easily good enough for these teams to get through to the qualification stages to qualify for the main event. This also, I thought, some pretty incredible statistics here from Ominous, VCT 2022, APAC North America and EMEA, minimum 50 first kills. This is the opening duel win percentage of some of these guys. This, honestly, the stats here from cNed, Marved, especially John Olsen, Ban, anything like 60% and above is pretty absurd, to be honest. And the fact that cNed wins 67% of his opening duels, like you put him in, get 2/3 of his opening duels he wins. That's just such an absurd statistic, to be honest. Marved at 65, like there's only, what, 6 players in the entirety of EMEA North America and APAC that have over a 60%, and cNed sitting here at 67, so that's pretty incredible. But again, anything in this ballpark is frankly remarkable. Of course, you do have to take context into account to some degree, like where they're playing, what role they're using, all this type of stuff. But yeah, pretty impressive to see that these guys, but definitely all very impressive players in their own right. And a nice little clip here from Breach to finish out the video. Of course, we saw yesterday Vanity had that clip right where he was using, was he using Cypher or whatever, and maybe it was a couple of days ago now, and he basically didn't use any of the util, but still got the kills. Here, in fairness, he's actually using some of Breach's kits. But very much intrigued to your thoughts and all this stuff in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button, tell us YouTube gods, this is a good video, and it's like you should see it as well, and help grow the competitive Valorant community. Thank you as always, take care, and I will see you next time.
Successful.
Down you go.
Last player standing.
Spike planted.
One enemy.
Trevor.
Clutch.
Nice.
Is that the
Cash
He's to my left.
Prove it.
Camera?
You right?
You called?
You called.
Yeah, but I didn't really think he was there. I just said that to seem cool if he was.
You got this, Leaf.
Here.
One enemy.
Oh, bomb.
Oh.
Oh, bomb.
Oh. Oh. Stop playing with him.
Yeah, stop playing with him, dude.
How the did you lose? Too early or no?
I don't know, bro. How could you ever lose?
Should we celebrate?